Hi friends, Krista here. Thank you so much for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I'm going to be giving you my list for the Booktube Spin round 6. The Booktube Spin is a fun way to randomize adding a couple books to your TBR. Rick McDonnell is the host of the Booktube Spin, and I've participated in every round so far, so I'm very excited to participate again. So I have a list of 20 books here. I'll tell you about how I chose them and whatnot in a minute, but after I tell you about the books, he actually did the spin this morning and I have not yet watched it. It's the honor system here. I honestly haven't looked at it yet, but I will watch it together with you and see which book I'm going to read. So I have 20 books. He's going to spin a spinner, choose 2 numbers, and then I have 3 months. So he's choosing it now in April. We have April, May, and June to read the 2 books or one of the books that he picks. I'm very excited to see what's going to get picked out of this stack today. The way that I chose my books this round is I divided it up into 4 groups of 5 books each. When I recently did the quarter year book crisis tag, I realized there are a few goals that I haven't been doing so great at. So 3 of the areas that I've chosen are to help with some of those goals. So the first set of 5 books are 5 Book of the Month books that I'd like to read. So I'm just going to get going and tell you what I chose. The first is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This is a sci-fi multiple universes type of a thing. I just recently saw Christine from the Roomies Digest love this. She wrapped it up in her March wrap up. So it put it back on my radar as a sci-fi that I'd like to read. So that's book 1. Number 2 is Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. I know it takes place in Scotland with these 2 twin sisters, and this wolf, one of them studies these wolves. I had heard some good things about it, so I'm eager to see what I'm going to think, and I like that it's kind of small. Number 3 is The Maid by Nita Prose. This is a mystery that takes place in a hotel, and then there's a maid who, I don't know if there's a maid. Obviously, that's the title. Potentially, she is going to be one of the suspects, so she has to determine whether she's going to speak up or not about what she saw or something along those lines. I've heard it's a little bit quirky and fun. I'm eager to read it. Then I have 2 of my more recent Book of the Month purchases. I have The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. I have loved 2 books by her in the past and am eager for her newest. And then also Ruta Sepetys' I Must Betray You, historical fiction that takes place in Romania. I'm also very excited for this. So this is number 5. Oh yeah, Book of Cold Cases is number 4, and this is number 5. Another of the goals that I had that I'm not doing that great at yet is sequels. I have not been reading very many sequels this year, so I just went out to my sequel shelf and grabbed 5. So for number 6, I have book 3 in the Land of Stories series, a middle grade fairy tale retelling series. That's number 6. Number 7 is also a middle grade, the 3rd book in the Pages & Co. series. This one's called Map of Stories by Anna James. Very, very eager to read that. Number 8 is Louise Penny's The Long Way Home. I believe this is book 10 in her mystery series that I absolutely love. Number 9 is a duology wrap-up. This is a Christian fiction, Christy Cameron's A Sparrow in Terrazin. The first book was The Butterfly and the Violin, which I have read more than once, but yet haven't read the sequel or companion. I believe it's a companion novel. Number 10 is the second book in the Secret Book and Scone Society novel. And I think I just got a better copy of this at a library book sale, so I need to pass this one along. But this is kind of a cozy-ish mystery. I guess I'm in a mystery mood. So far, a few of these have been mysteries. The next section, books 11 to 15, are books that I received for my Christmas book exchange with Amanda, Lindsay, and Sarah. I want to make sure to be focusing on some of these this year. I don't think I've read more than 1 so far this year. So I have 5 here. Book 11 is Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe by Heather Weber. So cute, and it feels kind of summery to me. I don't know why. A pie with a bird on it sounds summery. And I think this is a mystery type of book too. Full of family secrets, undeniable charm, and that particular touch of magic so often found in the South. Ooh, that sounds like a Sarah Addison Allen type book. So that's 11. 12 is a nonfiction, Under the Banner of Heaven by John Krakauer. And this is going to be a story of a cult. Book 13 is a middle grade called The Strangers by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I have read other books by her, in particular the Shadow Children series, and would really like to read more. And I've heard good things about this trilogy. So I'm excited for that. 11, 12, 13. Book 14 is another super popular, more YA, I think, book, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There's an inheritance up for grabs, and there are some games or puzzles or whatever to be figured out to see who is going to receive the inheritance. I think that's what this one is about. Book 15 is kind of a rom-com or just contemporary. It's 80 Days to Elsewhere, an ex libris adventure by Casey Dyer. And I believe this is going to have a good mashup of travel and books, which I'm down for. I love those two things. The last section of 5 books are just books off of my recommendations cart. This is the cart where I put all the books that you guys recommended to me at the very beginning of the year. And I didn't do highest rated or lowest rated or anything like that this time around. I just kind of grabbed what jumped out at me first. So here are the 5. For book 16, I have Left Neglected by Lisa Genova. I've loved Lisa Genova. A few books that I've read by her. I think she's really brilliant at capturing what it's like to have some kind of brain disease or to even be connected or a family member of somebody who's going through a disease or an illness that affects your brain. Book 17 is Unwritten by Charles Martin. There are always a book or two by Charles Martin on my cart every year, and I haven't read one in a really long time. So that's why I chose this for book 17. He writes Christian fiction contemporaries. Next, I have book 18, Dear Martin, by Nick Stone. I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, about a young boy who writes letters to Martin Luther King Jr. as a way to help him process what's going on at school and in his life being a young Black man. So I'm excited for that. I've heard really good things about it. Book 19 is City of Thieves by David Benioff. This comes highly recommended by Gloria Z. Thompson, but also she's given me warnings that it's pretty brutal or like a little bit graphic, I guess, at times. I'm going to this well aware that it might not be a book for me, but I want to give it a try for sure. And this is a World War II historical fiction. And then book 20 is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This one has been recommended the last couple years by a bunch of you, and it is pretty highly rated. So I'm very curious what I'm going to think about this. It's another mystery in this pile, so we shall see what I think about it. So now we are going to watch what Rick McDonnell spins on the spinner to see what I have to read. Then I'll show you at the end. Let's see what we get.
This round. Okay, wish us all luck. Here we go.
The first one is
number 17, which I think is a new number. I don't spin number 2. Here we go.
Okay, let's see what's for number 2. Number 2 is book.
Oh. No, it's 20.
Oh man.
It's 20. It just went over the line.
I'm kind of bummed. Okay. So we got number 17 and number 20. So both of these are off of my recommendations cart, which is funny because neither of these helps me complete a goal. But that's okay. So I have Unwritten by Charles Martin was number 17. I mean, just the cover feels like a good beginning of summer read. It looks like they're going to be at a beach. I'm not really sure what this is about. Florida's 10,000 Islands is a good place to be lost. A couple decent boats, a deep knowledge of fishing, and a man can get by without ever having to talk to another soul. That is, until the priest who ties him to the world of the living, even if only on the fringes, asks him for help. Father Steady Capri fears Katie Quinn's problems are beyond him. Katie is a world-renowned actress whose fame seems to have caused her to self-destruct. Steady knows the true cause of her desire to end her life is buried too deeply for him to reach, but there is someone who still may be able to save her from herself. A man who will show her an alternate escape, a way to write a new life. But Katie will still have to confront her past to find peace. As the pair travel from the Florida coast to the French countryside, they'll discover the unwritten story of both their pasts and their future. I'm not really sure about that one, but it comes highly recommended by a few of you, and I definitely want to read another Charles Martin. So this will get read sometime between April, May, and June. And then I almost didn't put this one on there, but it got chosen, so I guess now is the time to read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So I believe in this story, it's kind of a closed room mystery, but there's a fantastical element to it. So there's this party going on, I believe, and Evelyn Hardcastle is going to die at this party. And every day until Aiden Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. Oh, she's gonna die every day until he could break the cycle. So it's kind of like a Groundhog Day type of a thing. It keeps restarting the day. But every time the day begins again, Aiden wakes up in the body of a different guest. And some of his hosts are more helpful than others. I think I've heard some mixed things about this. Some people really liked it and some people didn't. These are the 2 books that I'll be reading for the Booktube Spin. Yay! I hope that I get to both of them. I am kind of bummed that none of my actual goals will be pushed forward because of this, but that's okay. It is what it is. This is what I'll be reading. Let me know down below if you're participating in the Booktube Spin this time around. Let me know what books got chosen for you. That's it. Let's chat in the comments below. You guys know I love talking with you down there. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me for a little bit. I will be talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.